magic makers, and welcome back to the Metaphysical Apothecary. We are your hosts, Megan and Shannon. We are also known as the Scorpio Sisters, and we are here to explore the mysterious, magical, and the arcane.
This is part 2 of Subtle Bodies. We'll be discussing Subtle Bodies topic that we started back in November around the last holiday season.
Yes, we're going to give you the second half of the information we had prepared because it's such a rich topic. And it's super, super important, especially during the holiday season, especially with the dumpster fire that this year has been, that we're all taking care of, not just our physical bodies, but our intangible bodies as well.
And just to recap, the subtle body is a 7-layer, multi-layer body outside of the physical body. It vibrates at your own personal frequency. Outside of your body, it perceives the positive or constructive energy patterns and the negative or deconstructive energy patterns before it gets to your physical body.
Exactly. And there are 7 layers, as Shannon pointed out, that are attached to our chakras. And the chakra system lends energy to the endocrine system. Each chakra is attached to a certain set of glands, and those glands, that endocrine system, governs all of the functions of the systems in our bodies. So when you have a vibration that comes into your body, when you get sick, more than likely that began as a disharmonious vibration in your subtle body that you can address before it becomes a physical ailment that you have to try to heal on the physical plane.
Yes. Last time we talked about tailoring your soundscape to allow for your subtle body to not be overwhelmed by jarring noise levels.
We did talk about the soundscape. When you're caring for your subtle body, what you consume, not just with your digestive system, but with your eyes, your ears, your nose, what things you touch, all of those things inform your vibration, and all of those things affect your subtle body because it's a field of energy surrounding your physical body. So anything that comes into your experience touches your subtle body first. When we were talking about subtle body self-care, we talked about making sure that you're tending your soundscape, that you're avoiding sounds that cause your vibration to be jittery or jittery or anxious or to slow down and become sluggish. You want something that's going to give you that harmonious feeling in your body. We also talked about tuning your social media feeds, tailoring what you consume in terms of visual media on the television as well, because that's sound and visual. So if you're a huge fan of horror films and you've been watching a lot of those and you feel that your vibe is getting kind of icky, that's kind of clogged up, maybe switch to something a little lighter for a while and see how you feel.
Diversity is a good thing.
Exactly. So if you want to hear more about how to tend your soundscape, how to tune your social media for optimum subtle body health, you can go back and listen to our first episode on the topic, which aired on November 14th. I will warn everyone, it sounds as though I dominate the conversation. A lot of Shannon's audio was compromised. So I apologize if it seems as though I am being dominant.
That's what happens when you don't have your own space in order to have podcasts. Sharing way too many common spaces with a lot of people.
Yes, you needed to steward your environment, which you're able to do a little bit better now.
What about touch?
When I'm especially stressed out, touching certain surfaces or putting on certain clothes can really ground me back inside my body while also bringing my awareness outside of my head. You get very in your head and you start ruminating on thoughts, and that starts making your vibration jitter, and touching something that you like, that's pleasant to you, can really pull you out of that state and bring you back. One of the things I used to love to do was play with my cat. I used to really get my hands right deep into his fur and roll him around, and I would put my full face in his soft little belly and listen to him purr. So there was the added benefit of listening to a cat purr. One of the other things I really love to do is play with shaving cream. There's something about the texture of shaving cream that just really makes me feel soothed.
I would probably have to say cuddling with a stuffed dragon or python that I will at work to try to de-stress myself. I do not like tissues with lotion. That causes jarring.
Yeah, I'm not into those either. They feel as though someone has already used them. I'm not into that.
Yes.
Yeah,
the sensation is totally wrong. I can't use them.
Another touch sensation that really does vibrate well with me, depending on who, is the sensation of skin-on-skin touch, and in particular hugs. That sense of someone holding you close and tightly to let you know that you're okay and that everything is good, even if nothing in the world is going wrong. It's just a sense of unity and oneness in that moment, in that sense of arms wrapped around each other, hug, and being surrounded by water. Warm water, whether it's from taking a bath or it's sitting and lounging in a pool that's cool or cold on a hot summer day, and knowing either way, whether it's the pool or a bath, I can dunk my head and be instantly embraced and surrounded by water, and the frequency of water does allow for my frequencies to just hum with appreciation and higher frequencies themselves, higher vibrations. And hot showers, where the steam is filling everything up, there's water in the air, there's water falling from the faucet. I can just lose myself in the feeling of the water, the steam, and again, just feeling that sense of an elemental embrace from both the steam and the water falling.
Absolutely. Feeling the warm water roll down your skin, that actually activates something called the mammalian diving response. And it's something that our beyond ancient ancestors, our mammalian ancestors, used to do to sort of get away from predators. Even just splashing water on your face activates this response of feeling cocooned and safe inside a bubble, and that will still trigger within our brains.
Well, that's really interesting, because one of the first spells that I ever did on my own was a water spell that was meant to keep me calm.
You did that instinctively without even knowing that there was a scientific backing to it. One of the other things we should think about when we're talking about sensory, the touch, is the clothing that we choose to wear every day. So many of us are at home, and we're probably most of the time choosing to wear very comfortable clothing. Comfortable clothing on the bottom, business on the top, PJs on the bottom. We're dressing to be comfortable. There's definitely something to be said for separating your clothing into categories. So I actually left my office job more than a year ago, before the pandemic began. And I quickly discovered that staying in my pajamas all day really lowered my vibration. It made me feel very depressed. It made me feel kind of grungy. I did not feel good. So I separated my clothing into categories. I wear my pajamas after I shower at night, and during the day, I'll wear a t-shirt and leggings or a sweater and joggers. But I have clothes that are reserved for daytime wear, and that gives my energy and my brain the signal, you're up, you're around, you're productive, let's go. It gives me more energy.
I usually wear pajamas all the time if I can. It makes me very happy, very comfortable.
For me, pajamas are my natural state of being, especially during 2020 quarantine year, because I view clothing as multiple pieces of armor. So if I'm getting dressed, I'm armoring up for something. And that will trigger stress because I have to armor up for a reason. I'm going outside. I am engaging with strangers. I am engaging with a commute. I am engaging with a stressful situation. So during this entire time of working from home, the only times I've ever put on anything that was not a pajama is because I've had to go outside and thus armored up. So my pajamas are actually a state of relaxation.
I guarantee you that neither one of us is wearing clothing that itches, that binds, or that pinches.
Yeah, the only time I've actually worn a bra is because I've had to wear a bra.
Right. I know many people who are doing the same thing.
I think after all of this is happening, if we ever have to go back to wearing a bra every day,
be like, this isn't necessary.
No, this is obviously not necessary. I don't care that I have to wear a little bit of an extra sweater or thicker sweater. That's fine. That's my style anyway.
I'll wear an extra layer.
Sweaters.
Just leave me alone. And when we're talking about sensations on our skin, so we've talked about things that we like to touch and things that we like to wear. There's also textures that we can turn to sort of help reset ourselves. So I was talking about enjoying playing with my cat and touching the shaving cream. This is why worry stones exist and things like stress balls that can really get you out of your head. Applying lotion to your skin too. I found this brand of lotion that I love. It's very creamy. It's got a pleasant texture to it. And I actually really enjoy putting it on my skin. So not only is my skin no longer itchy and dry, which makes me more comfortable, I enjoy the process of putting it on my skin because I like the texture of it.
I definitely enjoy putting lotion on.
Especially at night. It helps trigger a wind down to the day.
And it's these little things that we do every day that we might even pay more attention to or do more often that can raise up our vibration. Just anything that gives you that little spark of, ooh, I like this. Really pay attention to that and dial into it. And on the opposite spectrum, if there's anything that you do that you're like, oh, I don't enjoy this. If you can eliminate it, you should.
Yeah. You should strive to live in the constructive interference energy patterns, and when you can, avoid the deconstructive interference energy patterns.
If you have a pair of shoes that you hate wearing because they're uncomfortable and you can get rid of them because you have other shoes you like more, you should. Marie Kondo had the right idea when she was talking about just get rid of anything that doesn't spark joy. That's a very controversial thing, but it shouldn't be.
It really shouldn't be. I think the reason why it's so controversial is because it may not bring
That's
you joy
the only
right
reason
now,
that
but maybe it's still
says
necessary.
that you should keep anything. If it doesn't necessarily spark joy, but nothing else can do that particular job. Like if you have a wrench that you need to use to build things and you just don't love this wrench, it has a bad association for whatever reason, but you don't have another one to keep it, it's fine.
And gifting. I think that's something that people forget in the process of decluttering, because decluttering can be very important to your subtle bodies as well. It's not necessarily about throwing them away. It's about seeing if there's anything you can gift to someone else. Some traditions have it where someone comes into your home and if they admire something, give them the thing they're admiring. Don't do that because I am not.
Yep. My stuff is mine.
My dragons are my dragons. But I do understand the concept of if there's something here that does not give you that sense of joy or a higher vibration within your environment, it might do that for someone else. So there's no reason to throw it away. You might be able to gift it to someone else. And then that will also cause a higher vibration.
The subtle bodies are very reciprocal. They're fed and they're nourished by outside influences. They're also nourished and harmonized by inner influences. It's reciprocal. So what you take in, you also bring out. That's what this whole concept is about. So when you're able to do that for someone else and bring them joy and make their vibration higher, you're always doing the same thing for yourself.
That's how I understand function and interior design.
Yeah, it's all about making the energies flow in a beneficial way to attract what you want, whether that's just simple well-being and inner peace, which sounds simple, but it's not simple, or pretty much anything.
That's all we have on the topic for today. Thank you so much for listening in, and we hope you'll join us again next time. In the meantime, you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest, and go to our blog for some more witchy wisdom, as well as check out some of our original art on Society 6 for sacred decor and more. Thank you again for joining us, and go make some magic and live your best life. Bye.
Bye, everyone.